Hey folks, how's it going? We're checking out more Black Books. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic day, man. I'm really enjoying the show so far. We watched 3 episodes, we're on the 4th one, and they've all been bangers to me, man. They've really been fantastic. The last episode I was thinking, even though we're only 3 episodes in and we're still learning the characters, all that kind of stuff, I assume Manny was going to kind of be like that voice of reason character, you know, the one that kind of like grounds everybody from doing goofy stuff because, you know, he's in financing, he's going to help him with his books, he's helping him run his business like an actual business, good customer service, get everything cleaned up, things like that. That's the route I kind of thought Manny was going to be as a character. He's a little goofy and off because he's done a couple, but that's really it. But I still thought overall he was a pretty smart, well-rounded guy. That's the direction I thought it was going in, just because how well he did on his first day of work. And like, I'm just knocking the whole hospital weird Jesus thing he went through because he was, you know, in the hospital and stuff, so it doesn't really count. It happened in the first episode. The other stuff with him doing a great job with the business and get things cleaned up is what I mean. But in the 3rd episode, he really made a lot of screw-ups. So I'm guessing Manny's just going to be goofy the rest of the series, maybe? Because how do you screw up such basic directions, like of not drinking the old bottles, drink the new bottles, you know what I mean? And he just kind of helped add to the chaos. He gave them bad direction. They both end up drinking their own bottles. He worked with them to make a terrible version of the wine when they could have just took a good bottle of wine and just dumped it in there and called it a day. You know, just anything just even close to, just dump it inside there instead of trying to like make their own stuff. Putting sticks and stuff inside of it, bro. Like, what are you doing? It was funny and really entertaining and goofy, but it just made me realize that man is going to be just as goofy as both of them, man. The fact that he screwed up, you know, direction so easily, and that he grabbed the gasoline can almost immediately and went with like the first idea they came up with, like burning the house down and stuff, man. So yeah, man he's a goofball. But all around, man, I'm really enjoying the show so far. As I said, we're only 3 episodes in and it's been really entertaining. 3 bangers. So yeah, man, let's just go ahead and jump into the 4th episode. We'll talk about the board at the end. I thought he was screaming run. He was screaming Fran.
Bernard.
There you are. Right. Wait till you hear this.
No, me first. Seriously, I can't hold on to this one. I can't. My story goes first.
No, my story first. I'm not backing down. No.
Well, neither am I.
Well, you know what that means.
Count to 3.
1, 2, 3.
I was going to rock, paper, scissors or something.
Say peanuts.
Peanuts.
Okay. I want Manny in on this. Manny?
No. He's no good to anybody. He stayed up all night with his birthday present. Complete set of the Sweeney and an espresso machine.
Wired.
Hello? What? Do me a favour. It's a flaming bookshop. Of course we got Jane Austen.
Right. Okay, my story. Imagine,
right.
yeah?
Yeah.
Imagine you're a woman.
Okay.
Okay? And now imagine...
Wait, I'm still...
Okay.
So goofy.
And now imagine you have a boyfriend. Okay? And now imagine you see that boyfriend with another woman.
Okay, my story.
This is Peter we're talking about.
Peter wouldn't do that to me. To you.
You scum.
Manny, come over here. You want a case? I'll give you a case. Figure out what I did last night.
Okay, the dinner party. What?
I heard his nuts.
What?
Sat on myself. All right. Let's start by reconstructing the evening. Who else was there?
Well, Gerald and Sarah, obviously.
What's their D40?
Well, what?
What do they do?
Oh, Gerald's a food writer. He had a big hit with that thing, you know, basic meals for the ultra-rich. And Sarah's an interior designer. She's on that program, you know, Pet Surprise.
Pet surprise? What's that?
Oh, you know the thing, they take the dog out for a walk. He thinks it's a normal walk, but when they come back... the kennel has a patio and French doors, you know.
Yeah, and then they take the blindfold off.
Yeah, and he's like, oh my God, you know.
Right.
And there were a few other people there, you know, the sort of people who talk about salad for 5 hours.
So, How much you had to drink before you turned up?
Or you just assume I'd been drinking. That's
Yeah,
it, of course
how
I've been
much?
drinking. You just assume
How
that I
much?
would naturally...
How much? How much? How much?
A couple of bottles.
Right. So you were in a bit of a state.
No, I was fine. Jim, have I ever told you about the old country? The songs, Jim. Oh, they'd melt your face. Oh, I live in a shoe on Moore Street. I'm a prostitute from Newry. Somehow. I bet you he's done something and pinned it on me.
Dude.
It's always the children, isn't it, Bernard?
Manny, if you have one more sip of coffee, you're
Help! Help!
I got it!
This is so cute.
Help! Help!
Police! Stop!
Really? That's what he gonna do. A pretty big guy. You better keep running.
You just better watch it, or I'll be down your manor with all the other policemen. And we'll arrest your ass. Goodbye.
Yeah, I thought you might want some coffee.
No, I've got to go.
No, wait a sec. We need you. Look, got a favour to ask. We got someone in who isn't turning over as quick as we thought. Real villain. Could you sit in on the interview?
Hey?
Hey, what's with the face fungus?
Undercover work.
Right.
Got to blend in with a heavy metal group who stole some furniture. Bastards.
So anyway, how about it? Can you help us out with this?
No, I can't. I really can't. They need me back on the
No,
job.
hang on a minute. Who's your governor? I'll ask him.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, good lad. Grab your coffee. Come on.
something much, much worse.
Oh, you didn't do kabumbo, did you?
Oh, that's got something to his butt,
No.
doesn't it?
I didn't have any cigars. All right, so you were knocked down.
Even though I wasn't really badly hurt, I had to go to hospital for checks, and Peter insisted on coming with me.
Okay.
And so I was still blanking him in the ambulance.
How do you blank somebody in an ambulance?
Come on, Fran. Keep your eyes fixed on mine. Come on, Fran. Keep your eyes fixed on mine. Keep your eyes fixed on mine, Fran.
Oh, no.
Fran! Hurry, man! Hurry!
Did you ever get to tell him why you were blanking him?
I certainly did. I spent some time explaining in very clear terms why he was a scumbag and the fancy lady he was with was a slut.
But it seems to be working. He's getting shaky. I'll let you take over. Offer him a deal.
What sort of deal?
I don't know. You call it. Well, don't give away too much. He's looking at 2 years minimum. I'll be back in 10.
What?
10 minutes.
10 years.
Right. I'm locking the door, Noxie. It doesn't open again until you give my partner something.
Get the hell out of here, man.
Yeah, that's definitely locked. I'm not a policeman.
What?
They think I'm a policeman. I'm not. I've just had too much coffee.
What are you talking about?
What'll I do?
Well, I want Norris back. Get Norris. I'll talk to him. I ain't talking to you.
This guy's crazy.
Ah! It's a boy. So, come on, back to the story.
I knew I'd done something heinous, so I thought, the hell with it, I'll go and see Gerald and Sarah. I don't want a cab, it's only 1:30. Anyway, listen. Why do you have a toaster in your bathroom?
We haven't got a toaster in our bathroom.
Well, you should put a lock on the door anyway, because I was in there. I was on the toilet and everything. Little Jimmy comes in. He's drinking milk from the fridge, and that's all wrong. It's unhygienic.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And what were you thinking? What was going through your brain when you thought,
So he
oh
said
yeah,
toaster.
I'll buy a wicker toilet?
A wicker toilet. I thought he was pooping in
I
the
thought
sink.
I did something bad. All right, so I go to the toilet in your wicker chair. It's a faux pas.
Faux pas?
Well, I thought I drank all the booze or something.
You
know.
did drink all the booze. So what?
Well, I think I deserve an apology.
Out.
Really, dude?
I came all the way across town to apologize. I don't even have the fare for a taxi back. I behaved with dignity and honor and grace. I'm a bit upset now. You wouldn't understand what I'm talking about because I'm talking about dignity. Hence.
So why were you embarrassed to tell me?
Oh, well, I fell, you know. It was so undashing.
And of course, going to the toilet through a chair. Well, we've all been there. What happened to you?
Oh, I've had some day.
What happened?
Well, it started off. What happened to you? What?
That was a particularly bad one.
Man. Yeah, like I said, I thought Manny was gonna be like the voice of reason, just the guy to kind of like ground everybody. There's usually kind of a character like that, not in every show, but sometimes. And I just thought this direction was going in, like because he's gonna be doing finances and just to kind of level things out. Like he's just as goofy, just as goofy as both of them, man. Getting himself in all type of trouble, which I like, man. It's fun to see a show with just three goofballs screwing up, man, for sure. He could just be like, I was trying to be a good Samaritan. Get himself out of that whole situation. I was trying to help an old lady out. Oh yeah, that she see now. I never said I was a cop. I wasn't impersonating an officer. I never said that. The lady's losing her mind. I always say Bernard, but Bernard just doesn't come out. It doesn't. Well, I guess I'm doing a pretty good job saying Bernard. Bernard? Does she just say Bernard? Or does everybody say Bernard? Does he say Bernard? I don't know. Whatever. I'm probably gonna get it wrong a few times. Probably gonna say, but go back and forth between Bernard and Bernard. Whatever. She's goofy as heck. When he's at the table with them, I'm like, it's got to be an explanation for that. Because I'm like, if he didn't do the hand thing, I'm like, it could just be a friend. Because people do that all the time, where they think you're with somebody, yada yada yada. But when you touch your face, I'm like, it could be a sister or something, you know. But I've had situations like that where I was at a restaurant with a friend from work, and it started off as like a group thing. And this was with my ex, and I let her know that we're going out to eat with like a group of people from work, and it happened to just be everybody would start leaving, me and a girl I worked with for like years, and she was waiting for her husband to pick her up from the restaurant. And I remember I was still there with her because I was like, I'll chill with you while your husband comes and picks you up before I leave. Because if it was a guy, I would just offer to give him a ride home so they don't have to wait or anything. But since it's a girl, like, I'm not going to do that because it just turns into a potential argument. Not only with her spouse, but like with my ex back in the day. So we just stay at the restaurant. I'm like, I'll just chill here with you instead of just leaving you here chilling by yourself. And one of my exes, like, it was a friend from work or something. She never told me who said it. But I get a phone call from her saying that somebody sees me at a restaurant with a girl and what's going on. I'm supposed to be there with somebody else. I'm like, what are you talking? Like, everybody left. I'm chilling here with her until her husband comes and picks her up. That's all it is. Like, I've just been here with the whole group. I love how this person just calls you right when everybody else leaves. And she's like, they just so happen to see you after everybody else leaves. I don't think that's the case. Like, I told you the restaurant and everything I was going to. Why would I tell you that? But I would tell you the restaurant I was going to, what time I was going there, everything, if I'm going to cheat on you with the lady. Why would I give that? Makes no sense. Just think about that. It makes no sense. Why would I do that if I'm going to just be there with a girl? So you can just pop up and catch me. I'm the world's worst cheater. That makes no sense at all. It makes no sense. I don't care who saw me. Everybody left, and I said I'll stay there with her. That's it. And we're still at like a big table setting where all the other chairs were at, where they put tables together for us. It's not like we were just like at a booth chilling together. So, I don't know. And we weren't even next to each other, like we were across from each other. Man. She turned into this big old fight, and I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. Man, oh man. Early relationships, man. Because I don't like to argue. So I'm not the type of arguing type. I'm like, I don't want to argue with you about this, man. You guys really put the pieces together. You believe in somebody else over me. And like, it was either your cousin, because it's the only person she really like talked to. It was either your cousin, because all our friends were like mutual friends that we knew through each other, so they wouldn't have did it. And I'm like, or somebody you know from work who knew me. So I'm like, that's who it was, and you're gonna believe them over me. Like, okay, man, that's cool. That's cool. She was mad some days for that, but I was like, whatever. But yeah, It just make like when people just jump to conclusions. It's such a goofy thing. And I guess I definitely get being suspicious if you're the person who always does like really weird, sneaky things, and you probably shouldn't be with that person in the first place. But a relationship is built on like a foundation of trust, man. That's just how it is. You need to be able to trust each other. That just would have made me think about somebody like jumping to conclusions. I'm actually surprised things ended for Manny that way, man. I didn't think he'll get himself out of it. He actually kind of came out unscathed. But besides him being uncomfortable in an uncomfortable situation for a while and almost getting caught, he came out relatively unscathed, you know? Getting like hyped up on coffee and stuff. Like, he just kind of went on an adventure where both of them end up with like broken limbs. So his day was pretty decent. They both end up getting hurt off of really stupid stuff, but compared to their day, he walked away with no scrapes. Well, he smashed his nuts like 4 times, so I guess he don't need a cast, but he definitely jacked his nuts up. They all had bad days. Oh yeah, but this is another good episode. I enjoyed this, man. This is very goofy. Manny is just as goofy as both of them, man. They're silly as heck. Alright, folks, that is it. That is all for this one. Hopefully you guys are happy, safe, and healthy. I'll see you in the next one. Later.